to look at the offensive personnel. Have you come to any conclusions?
Yeah, I can't wait to practice today. See what it looks like out there. We've been coaching these guys for about 8 months. Okay, so there's a lot more. There's a lot more material out there than just what happened on Saturday night. Okay, so our job is to assess the situation and clearly who's getting the playing time is at the top of that list. There's no doubt. We'll practice this week. I'm going to challenge our backups to improve. I mean, if we had backups right now that were performing at a very high level, it would make those decisions much easier. So it's not just what happened in the second half, okay? The second half was bad. But there's a lot more information throughout the course of the last eight months that has those guys in those positions for a specific reason. So if we were playing today, it'd be the same starting 11. With that said, we're not playing today. We get a practice today and practice all week to where I'm going to challenge those second team guys who want to get more reps. I'm challenge them to practice better. Okay, and challenge them to try to get themselves in position where they'll play more. I give you an example. I mean, Josh Cobbs and Boogie. I mean, those guys are backup receivers that have not done enough to challenge for more playing time. I'm going to challenge them today to play to practice better to where they get more playing time.
Next question.
So Dana, it sounds like just
It was working.
You're okay. Go ahead.
So it sounds like you would like, in a perfect world, to be able to, if you could make some changes. But is it how do you bridge that gap between having guys ready to take that next step versus it's just not there right now?
Yeah, I mean, our depth isn't what it needs to be right now to compete at that level, and at that level means TCU is a really good football team. Okay, they're 15-3 over the course of the last 2 years. They got a lot of depth. I mean, they're rolling those D linemen in there 3 deep. So we're not quite there yet. And we need to continue to develop and continue to recruit and continue to get there as a program. If guys practice better and play better, they'll get more playing time. Parker Jenks is another example of that. I mean, he's doing well, right? So you saw him in there in the second half much more than he's been in there in the previous 2.5 games because he deserved that. So when guys get to that level and they deserve that, they'll get more playing time. And does that dethrone a starter? Well, that depends on what the second team looks like. I don't feel like, based on 8 months, we need to make any kind of changes based on what I've seen for eight months out of not only the starters, but for the backups as well.
Next question.
I mean, people want me to do this with Toon last year, too, after game one, or 2 years ago after game one. I mean, who you want me to put in there? So there's the who is in the second team discussion, and it's not just quarterback, not just receiver, running back, it's the entire defense as well. I mean, we evaluate personnel daily and who deserves to play and who deserves not to. I mean, there's probably a change on defense that's going to take place more so based on performance than there was on offense.
In the backfield, hoping to get Tony going.
He'll be ready to go.
And just when you look at wanting to get that going, I noticed Brandon was in on that fourth down play, never had a carry after that. Was that something that happened to him, or did you just want to go a different direction?
I put that 4th and short on him, yes, I do. I mean, that's everybody had it up. I studied these 4th downs, the last 24 hours I've studied them hard. The 3rd and 1 prior to that, and we're talking about drive 2, right? Drive 1, we get sacked on 3rd and 5. and kick the field goal, okay, get points there. And then we get the quick turnover, and so I'm like, we got to go here now. We got to, press it. And 3rd and 1, Donovan doesn't fit it right. We got, Donovan, I've been happy with. I sat here a week ago and talked about how happy I was with Donovan as far as moving the chains in the run game, okay? He misfit that. That's on him, okay? So then it goes to 4th and 1, and I'm like, this is our philosophy. We got to have this. And we get everything hatted up, and there's a second-level player that is a free hitter. He's always going to be a free hitter. Well, that's on the back. That is 100% on the back to get 3/4 of a yard, okay? So that was disappointing. I believe we get 3 more points, and then we're down there in the end zone again after another turnover. And I've been talking all week, turnovers are good, talking for 4 years. Turnovers are good, but what you do with the turnovers is way more important. And we got 2 turnovers and got 0 points, both on 4th and 1s. Now, the 4th and 1 on the goal line, that's a bad call. I don't like that call. It was basically a play action that you got tight ends out, and you play action it. Well, they covered it, and so you don't have options. He tried to make a play to getting it to Mikey O in the end zone and actually put it where he needed to. And Mikey got a foot down and just bobbled the ball, But I eat that one on what the play call is. If our philosophy on 4th and 1 is to go for it, there's a reason for that. We got to be able to come off the ball and get a yard, period. That's on me. 4th and 5, 3rd quarter, we false start. Do we get that and move forward? I don't know. And then the two in the 4th quarter were pretty much desperation on 4th and 7 and 4th and 17. So, the thing going back and looking at it, our guys were ready to play. We should have went to the locker room with the lead. The kick return obviously was big, but we had the ball close to the red zone 4 times, and in the red zone twice. You got to get points, man. Against TCU, you got to get points, and we got 6. That ain't enough. So you go to the halftime, down 20-13. We're in the game. I liked everything that was happening in the game. If we go in there with the lead, can we hold up in the second half? I don't know. They wore us out. They wore us out in the second half.
Dana, you got some, chunk plays in the passing game. The one to Brown. There's a long one to Manjack. Is there anything with that you guys can sort of build on?
Yeah, I should have had one to Sam Brown on the sidelines. Donovan put it right there. It was right off his fingertips. We saw the one to Golden. So we pushed it downfield 4 times against the defense that really doesn't let you do that. So you have opportunities to do that. You got to capitalize on them. We capitalized on 2 of them. We need to capitalize on more of them. Those were big plays that could have been had in the game. We're actually hitting more deep balls than we did last year. We got to continue to do that more.
When you went back and looked at the film, the number of drops, was it what you thought in terms of number-wise? And over 3 games, can you give us an idea of what exactly, you guys have had?
Yeah, it's happening too much. Everybody points the finger at the head coach and the quarterback, deservingly so. Okay, that's just the nature of the game. Okay, Donovan needs people around him to play better. It's too inconsistent at receiver. Sam's been pretty consistent, with the amount of times that we've been targeting him to what the success rate is pretty high. It's not so much for the other 2. We need more production right there. We need people around to play better. We got to get the run game going. I'm not just pointing fingers at any of it. There's enough blame to go around for the entire offense. But I sit in every meeting. I know what's on the sheet. I know what's getting called. I know what the communication is. I've seen our guys make plays. I think we need to relax a little bit and quit trying so damn hard, because the kids care. And when you care so much and you press a little bit, then that tends to not go well. So
What do you need to do to get the run game going?
We have to play with better pad level. I was disappointed with our pad level, okay, because we've worked hard on this for 8 months. I mean, we've practiced it. Our schemes are there. You know, what we're doing is fine. Our pad level needs to get better up front. It just does, okay? I thought we took a step in the right direction against Rice in the second half, and we had good pad level, and we covered people up, and we got movement, and our backs were running downhill. And then I didn't see it at all last week. So it's going to be a focus going into this week that we need to get our pads level and we need to run downhill. We're going to challenge them to do that.
Next question.
Coach, maybe one of the bright spots from last week, you were able to get some backups on the line in late in the game for a little bit of experience here on that last drive, which probably ties into your challenge in the team in certain spots this week. Was that something, at least you were satisfied to get those guys in there for that?
Not really. We were down 19 points, so we'll work hard at this. We'll get those second-team guys get reps all week. You know, if they want to earn more reps, then they need to practice harder throughout the course of the week. You know, so we got 5 backups that all get reps. Caden Bowie will probably get thrown into that mix this week as well because he's 100% ready to go now. But we're looking for more people and more depth. So those guys need to have a good week, get ready to go.
Coach, what do you see in this Sam Houston team? It's a team that obviously has had a lot of success over the last few years in FCS, but now they're kind of new to FBS. So what do you see in them as competitors?
It's going to be a challenge. These guys are going to be fired up and ready to play. Coach Keeler's been there for a while, and they've had a ton of success. They're used to winning. That 2021, which they played both the spring and the fall of 2021, they won 21 games or 21-1 in FCS national championships and stuff like that. So they're in transition, like we're in transition. They're in transition, to Conference USA. This is the first year of that kind of a schedule for them. I can just gauge where they're at based on 2 games, and it looks pretty good to me on defense. Anyway, I know offensively they're struggling. They're coming off of a bye week, but they've played 2 outstanding defenses too. They've played BYU and Air Force, both of which are 3-0 and have had good defensive performances. So, they're going to continue to get better offensively. After a bye week, what are they going to do? They're going to add stuff. I promise you that. They're going to add some things. They're going to probably add some tricks and some other things that are going to make them more challenging to play against. And defensively, they're number 1 team in the country, dang near, in all these statistical categories. And BYU and Air Force have played really good offense throughout the course of the years, So we better worry about doing our job, and we better worry about respecting our opponent because these guys are going to come in fired up, ready to play the Cougs.
Dana, the 6 sacks, were they a matter of holding on to the ball too long, or were they true sacks with pressure, or how did you see that?
Yeah, it was a combination of both. We got whipped a few times. The first sack on 3rd and 4 was the back. He had a missed assignment, unacceptable. Then we whiffed a couple of times, and then, they had some coverage sacks, So you drop 8 and you're pretty good in the secondary, there's going to be some of that. And then Donovan needs to scramble around. What is impressive about what they did, they knew that. And so those backers, 2 and 40 or 6 and 47, who are all conference, Big 12 all conference linebackers and returning starters and 5th-year guys. I mean, those guys rallied and made plays. So they had a good plan. And TCU is a good football team.
Coach, you mentioned the team needed to relax a little bit. Do you think having get past this first part of the schedule and the anticipation with TCU and after the emotional game at Rice, do you think getting past that first part of the schedule will alleviate that a little bit?
I'm going to tell them it is. Hopefully that'll work. If that their frame of mind isn't like that, then I'm going to try to convince them it is. I mean, that was a big game for us. That was a big moment. That was a big moment for our athletic department. The University of Houston in general. I mean, our players knew that. So They wanted it pretty bad. We were ready, fired up, ready to play. We made some plays and just didn't capitalize on the opportunities that we had in the first half, and then they choked us out in the second half. I mean, that's what it is. We lost to a good football team. We're going to have a lot of those type games ahead of us. It's a long season. We're going to be in those situations again against good football teams, in the future. So we got more opportunities ahead. I'm excited about this opportunity this Saturday against Sam Houston at trying to improve his football team.
Two more.
Dana, did you hear from Tank after that first, you got that first touchdown? And, you've obviously had a lot of guys in the NFL. Does it still mean something, this, see guys having success, at this stage?
Well, sure it does. I mean, I'm happy for Tank, and, he's it's cool that he's in Houston doing his thing here in Houston. He stops by all the time, him being in attendance and present is not any kind of option that we have because he's going to show up anyway. But I haven't talked to him. Obviously, I was pretty busy. I didn't see anything. I didn't watch any games yesterday. I was, doing what the University of Houston pays me to do, obviously. So happy for him, no question. It means a lot. The Cougs got a lot of guys in the NFL. I mean, that's something to be proud of, and I think that trend will continue.
And a two-parter on defense, Chidozie and Jamari, getting them in there, more than you expected them to play, or was that about where you thought? And then as a defense, when you look at the points and yards, and I know that people get caught up on that, but did you take anything away from their performance?
Yeah, that's why I mentioned I don't know if we did have a lead at halftime, I don't know if we would have been able to hold up. They kind of wore us down, and then offensively we got choked out. But defensively it's a step in the right direction. I said afterwards in the press conference I was pretty critical of them against Rice, and I think they responded to that. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. Was I happy to have Chidozie and Jamari back? Absolutely. We didn't know if they were going to play until probably Wednesday. And for them to do what they did in that game, which was pretty impressive by both of them without practice the last couple of weeks, was impressive. So that I thought we played good up front. I think Jamal and Malik at linebacker played their best game. I think at safety, with Fleming and Halsey, I thought we played well. Our corners struggled. They got chunk plays and our corners struggled. But overall, it was improvement, and it's a step in the right direction. And now we need to build on that. We don't need this whole thing with we need to play better as a team. Like when offense plays bad, defense plays good, and when defense plays bad, offense plays good. That's not good team. That's not, and that's my focus this week, is trying to focus on playing better as a team. But we need to build on what we did defensively. That was a step in the right direction for sure.
Thanks so much, Coach.